and this is My Slovak Experience. Welcome everyone. Thank you for getting along with me in this Slovak experience journey. Today's guest is Diego Loyola. Diego has been living in Slovakia since 2010. He is coming from Ecuador, so from the other part of the Atlantic. And I think that if you are a foreigner living in Bratislava, you probably already had the chance to meet him, read one of his blog posts, or at least hear his name somewhere. He's a very famous foreigner that in the last years he's been welcoming foreigners to Slovakia, organizing many kind of meetings, events, and even travel suggestions to make them enjoy the Slovak experience. So it's without further delays that I will leave you with Diego Loyola. Enjoy. Diego, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, to bring something about you being living in Slovakia. So I know that you are from Ecuador, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me something about when you and Slovakia. So why Slovakia and when did you come here?
Okay, so it was about even that was small kind of like adventure. Now I was living and working in the United States. And at that time, I met who is my wife now, and she's Slovak.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that was in about 2005. Then, after a while, she was working there, I was working there. After some few years, then we sort of decided, okay, we have traveled enough. We like to travel a little bit. We saw enough of the United States. She loved Ecuador. She wanted to see Ecuador. So we're like, okay. I asked my company. I was working for a healthcare company at that time, also as a developer, programmer. And they were saying, well, now you can work from home. And I said, home here or home Ecuador? And they were, we don't care, as long as you get the work done. So that was pretty nice. So eventually we moved, and we actually lived in Ecuador for 3 years. Yeah, eventually the company also, the crisis, 2008 came and all that. They had to cut corners. So, yeah, the job was over. And then we came to the realization, it's like, do I want, I don't know much if you've been to South America or in the countries, but it's not, I always say it's nice to visit. As a tourist, you will love it. You go, everybody should go visit. But when it comes down to when I live there, to work there, salaries can be tough, and really just like the way people go about their jobs and getting things done can be a little bit frustrating. So it was kind of, do I want to find a job and work here, or what do we do? And yeah, that was it. Then we decided, okay, let's give also Slovakia a try for 1 year and see how it goes. And that was 8 years ago.
So it was mostly driven by need of you to find a job somewhere, and you said, okay, maybe Slovakia is a good opportunity.
Yeah.
But at the same time that you somehow wanted to leave your country, right? That was an interest.
I don't even know. It was a while ago. The way personality is and all that, I get used to everywhere. I was fine working in the States. I was fine also living in Ecuador, and then, like I said, it was other things too. I mean, her parents, the health of her parents were kind of declining, so she always felt like being home closer. So this is why, it's a couple of things, and we were like, okay, let's give it a try. Why not?
Okay.
At that time, we didn't have kids yet, so okay, it was a good time to do it.
And have you ever been to Slovakia before that time?
I came once in 2007, just for a couple of months, so I kind of knew it. But then in 2010, that's when we moved. Yeah.
So going back to 2007, what were your first impressions?
I really liked it. I don't know. It was pretty funny. I didn't want to have preconceptions about the country. Obviously, I never heard of it. What everybody always says is Czechoslovakia, right? Nobody knows. Nobody was even knowing about the separation yet, at least in South America. Like, where is Slovakia? I don't know where it is. Crazy.
So it's still the main books with maps of the world.
Yeah, the old one and all that. You say
still
Czechoslovakia, they were like,
Czechoslovakia,
okay,
and that's
yeah, I
where
can see
people
it.
learned.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And no, so I came with no expectations. It was just kind of like, okay, I'm not gonna research whatever. I'll just come in and see how it is. But I've always been inclined to, for some reason, I like more this kind of history, the Eastern Europe and Central Europe history rather than Western. Don't know why. Like, maybe because, it's in life, it's like a lot of times you like things or you're attracted to things. Something is interesting to you because you don't have it. Like for me, it was like, okay, South America, we knew about like, the Che Guevara and all the liberations, and there's so much of it too, even in Ecuador, about that ideology and all that. So interesting, okay. But we never really saw how communism was. We heard about it. We heard about the world wars and all that, but, completely different for us. And for us, what is old? Old is something that is 100 years old, 150 years old. It's so old. And then you come here and it's like, come on, thousands of years. So I was very attracted to those things, and here in history. And it was crazy. When I came here, man, I probably slept like 3 hours, and I immediately just, let's go outside. I want to see the buildings. I want to see this. I want to see that. What is this? Oh, wow, you guys have buffets everywhere. Oh, I can't believe you guys eat everywhere like that. Like, and then she told me buffet is like just a regular store. I'm like, well, I didn't know. I was taking pictures everywhere, but I really liked it. It was just, for me, it's like a completely different world. And even these ugly buildings that are just decaying because they're communist style. But for me, that was like, wow, that's nice, that's neat.
And also from a climate perspective, like you are from Ecuador, so
I lived in the States for about 10 years.
Okay, so
living in the States for 10 years, so I knew about this. I was fine. I still don't like winter, but
nothing like, here's the snow.
Oh,
cool.
No. The first year, yeah, but then after that, I don't like winter. That's the only thing. Then the other seasons are fine. I like it. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, we came here. That was the first year, and I really, really liked it. I mean, I have to be like one of the few persons that I know, but I don't know. Maybe it's because, like I said, I had no expectations. I really liked the history of it, but I feel that here in Bratislava you have everything that you could need. When it comes to, I know. When I first came, I was so, oh my God, guys, you have everything there is here. And then I would have so many people contradicting me and saying, no, you're crazy. Oh, it's blah, blah, blah. And yes, I don't know. Right now it's so contradicting. Some people are right, some people are not, but it depends on your state of life. It depends how you come to Slovakia. I came here, I was married already. So, I like to be social, I like to meet people. So, and I really like nature, so come on. When I moved here, I was really close to Shelesna anyway, living right across from Patronka. So imagine every day I get to go with my bicycle up to the forest. Every day. It's like amazing. Summer comes along, and here you have lakes that you can go swim. Yeah, maybe a little bit dirty, whatever, but in Ecuador, no such. You're crazy. Who ever goes to a lake to swim? Like, it's just unheard of, So, imagine.
Why that? Because you cannot
It's just so dirty.
swim in
It's extremely dirty. People throw garbage on it. It's unkept and all that, so.
So, like, even the condition of the nature are much better.
Exactly. Here, I mean, you have trails. You have trails that, it's so many stories at once, but, like, you see, if you compare Slovakia compared to Germany, of course, so many drawbacks. Oh, there are so many problems, so many issues, blah, blah, blah. The roads, But if you compare Slovakia to, like, my country, then it's nice. Like, there's so many more nice things, advantages, let's say, Come on. Shelesna has so many trails, created trails. You can go on and on for whole days. I know it by hand, really. I think I tried every single trail from here to to Vieille Cris. But and then when you go to like Ecuador and you see the Andes, the mountains, and you're like, wow, it's so beautiful. Okay, and I'll try walk it. There are no trails. It's mostly private land. So you're gonna get yelled at. Don't cross, don't go this. So it's like it's nice to see, but you cannot really have access to it. That's a big difference. Same. There may be beautiful lakes, but they're unkept. So in any case, again, so I really liked it. I loved it here. I love it here still, and it's just like that. You can go biking. You can do any kind of sports, running. There's so many activities. They create all these running races. You can go swimming now. Even you have the Magio Plage, the beach. Oh
yeah.
It's a beach. You have some sand, but there's so many nice things to do, and I don't know. It's like also the main thing. It's a small city.
Yeah.
500,000, and
so this human dimension.
Yeah. It's so many. It was just so many nice things that came to that I really, really enjoy, and coming from that point, it's that then I started, I like to think that I'm a kind of person that, if there's a problem or if there's something like there's a challenge or a complication, then you have to do something about it, not just complain, not just say, it's something happens and, like if I don't like my job, if the pay wasn't so good, well, I can work on my CV and look for another job, or if it's raining, then, I put on a jacket.
So what was your first challenge when you came in 2010 and decided to start living here?
Challenges, so many. I can't really remember much. I came at the end of the fall, so it was getting cold a little bit, and I think, as always, the language. The language has to be the biggest problem. Everybody tells you, "Oh, don't worry, everybody speaks English." No, they don't. If they're under 30, yes, it's very likely they do. But if they're older than that, or if you go away from Bratislava, you're Slovak. You need to know some Slovak.
Teraz rozumiesz po slovensky?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no.
Like, and how is your Slovak? I saw you.
My first year, I was honestly, I was kind of lazy because my wife was doing all the translation for me until she got tired of it, and then she said, "No, you have to learn it." So after 1 year, then I started taking some classes and all that. Now I continually take it. I take once a week. I have some classes, but I'm still lazy. I still watch everything I watch is in English. With my kids, I speak Spanish to them. With my wife, speaking English. So I should be practicing more.
So you have like 3 languages in the family going around.
Exactly. But
and also in your work, what's the language you're using?
Well, my team they're all Slovaks, but work and all that is done in English. So I understand what they're saying, but it's very technical software and all, and I don't know a lot of those words in Slovak.
So everybody mostly mixes a bit of English technical words and Slovak discourse. Okay.
But I mean, even right now, hold on. I worked in my floor at Siemens. I'm the only foreigner.
Okay.
Which is kind of like interesting because of all the big companies, IBM, Dell, and all that. There are so many foreigners working, right? But it was very surprising for Siemens. No, it was just recent, in the past maybe 2 years, there's been a couple more foreigners working there. But it's mostly just Slovak, which was very. I mean, you can imagine when you go to work, when you start working, and they're like, it's an international company, so you're assuming communication should be in English, and they're like, yeah, we speak English, no problems. And then all the emails, HR, and all that is in Slovak.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, sorry, but I can't understand it. And Siemens had a policy at that time not to use Google Translate, so it was you couldn't access it. So that was very fun. That was a nice challenge. Now it's open. Now it's fine. But so yeah, I was forced to learn more Slovak like that.
And how did you find your colleagues in this, like, more collaborative and translating and so on?
Yeah, they're fine. I mean, nothing major with them. It's like, I live my life. I still have so many other ventures, projects, ideas that I don't really have much time to socialize with colleagues, unfortunately. Yeah.
So you were working in Siemens when you came here?
No. When I came here, really, like, I came here with 2 suitcases, and that was like, we will see what happens. Yeah.
And what did you do?
Yeah, just started applying for jobs. Then I got into a startup company, and we were working there for about 3 years. Then the company wanted to move to Berlin. They offered me a job in Berlin with them and all that, and I was like, sorry, I like Slovakia too much. Yeah, I know it's crazy for some, because, yeah, obviously even the salary would have been much higher and all that, but I was like, no, sorry, guys, if you're leaving, have fun. So then that company ended, and that's when I got hired here for Siemens. Mm-hmm.
So it's still 2010, right? Or 2000?
It was 2010 to 2014 that I worked in this startup, and then from 2014
so
to now it's Siemens. Yeah.
So it's like 4 years for you in Siemens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
that's nice.
And what are you doing?
Right now I work as a, well, it's also, well, I went from team leader, now I'm a project leader. So basically I have a small team. It deals with software. We deal with software for buildings, making the buildings smarter, we like to say, saving energy or fire extinguishers and all that stuff. Anyway, one part of this is with my project, and basically at first I started just managing the team here in Bratislava, but then later on I was also given the responsibility as a project leader to lead the whole project, having the customer, let's say, other Siemens companies in Switzerland.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at right now. But the project is ending soon, so I'm probably, they told me now I will be moving as a project PO, project owner.
Mm-hmm.
So another step now, leading another project.
From your daily interaction, so you have mostly Slovak colleagues, you told me around,
yeah.
But your direct peers and customers are all around Europe? Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's all internal. It's all internal. Like the guys in Switzerland deal with the rest of the world, sure, but the customer per se is just Siemens Switzerland. That's how we see it. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing right now, just managing. It can be fun, can be frustrating sometimes, but that's, I don't know, like that's just one thing. Honestly, even kind of funny, I always thought, if I tell you what I do at Siemens, you're going to fall asleep. Like, it's so boring, because it's so corporate world. It's not like, coming from what I see like, oh, if you're doing marketing, it's exciting, because you got to be exciting. You have to motivate people. You have to kind of convince them. It's not so easy. Come on, people are on the phone all the time. There's so much information coming to you right now. How do you stand out? How do people who are like, let's give you an example, Instagram, they're like scrolling on pictures, and what makes them stop on your picture? What makes them stop on your own? And that, to me, I find it fascinating. It's like, you have to come up with, you have to be ingenious about this, or sales too. It's like, how do you sell a product? How do I convince you? Like, you're having a coffee right now. How do I convince you to have my coffee instead of yours? It's like, all those parts, to me, it sounds more exciting. I've been doing programming since 2001. That's 17 years. Like, I was getting tired of it, So, yeah, the idea, now I have other hobbies, small hobbies. I try to do other projects. So, yeah, it keeps me busy a lot. Yeah.
And but then you leave your office, right? You go back to your home, and you also have quite interesting activities and hobby, right? As a private citizen, how do you spend your time when you're not in Siemens?
Actually, let's say, no, okay. So even before even Siemens and all that. So what happened to start with? How did I manage now Internations? I work. I am the ambassador for Internations Bratislava. But this started also in 2012.
Okay.
And this is my biggest hobby, let's say, or thing that I do outside of work. But basically it was the same. It was Internations. Just, again, it's a group of people. It's just organizing events to meet people, to socialize, to make friends. That really comes down to it at the end. And the thing was this group existed before I even arrived. They were in Bratislava since 2007. And just many people tried to organize events, and they got tired. They got tired, and nothing was happening. And then around that time, people were complaining. Everybody complains. It's like, you probably heard this. What is there was this joke, they probably still have, was, what is the nicest thing about living in Bratislava? That it's very close to Vienna. And that really
like
annoyed me.
The grass of a neighbor is always greener.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So that always so annoyed me, because it was, and to be honest, I probably go to Vienna maybe once every year. I really don't go to Vienna. I have everything here in Bratislava, right? But yeah, many people complain of this. There's nothing to do. Everything is in Slovak. What is happening? It's so boring. Blah blah blah. And then people start like I said, a lot of people can tend to complain but don't do anything about it. And you're always like, guys, come on. If you want to do if you're saying that there's nothing to do, let's do something, right? But then everybody's like, I'm tired, or I have so much work to do. I'm like, it just drove me nuts, So I was like, at one point I was like, fine, whatever. Look, listen, I will start organizing because nobody else wants to. And I organized the first internations. At that point, 10 people came. That was like, wow, 10 people. And now, normally we average about 100 people come in. Sometimes when we have bigger events, then we do even more people. But yeah, it started like that, Then it was like every month, just organize once a month. And the idea is always trying to do in different venues, try different places. It was always about like, hey, let's meet up with friends, have a nice time to meet with friends. Nice, but again, just after many years of doing this, as I was telling you, you come to a realization or actually internations became, after all these years, it's actually the introduction to Bratislava. I want to call it that way. Like, if you're new in Bratislava, you will find us and you will come to the events and you will meet people. But after a while, you make friends, the people, and then you just start, okay, I found the people that I like to do what I do. You find your own hobbies. Let's go to the bar. So it's always like this. It's always, people come to Bratislava a lot who are new, but then after a while they stop coming because then they have their own friends, their own things. And
so it's a good way to start. So if for foreigners that they have nobody and they come with a couple of luggage and looking for opportunities, you would suggest like get into international one of these kind of groups so you can meet more people and move along.
Exactly. One thing I was always proud of was that when I was managing internations, when I started, we had 800 members, and we're over 4,000 actually. Yeah.
And what's the main communication?
Just the website, theinternations.org. Yeah.
So then your mailing list, you get in touch with everyone.
Exactly.
Do you think that also? I mean, what the main, let's say, customers of Internation are foreigners, right?
No, actually, that was the funny thing. I started doing metrics about this some years ago, and I realized actually we're almost 50-50. 50% Slovaks, 50% foreigners. But the Slovaks that come to us are the ones who have lived overseas, So they are the ones who came back to Slovakia, and then they're like, well, I miss speaking English. I miss talking to people from different cultures, different countries, because, they're back with their families or they're working in a company, everybody's Slovak. So, we really have a lot of them, a lot of Slovaks who are like this, The main thing really is the events are done in English, so that's the only challenge, let's say. If you don't speak English, then you're probably going to have a hard time. And then maybe because of, at my age, I'm 40 right now, but the events that we organize and all that, as I told you, I don't like to do things because the benefit, there's a money benefit on this or on making events. There really isn't. I mean, my God, don't even try to make events for money in this. So then I came to the realization, it's like, okay, I'm going to do it because I like it. I'm going to do events that I like to do. So, like I said, for my age and all that, then the kind of venues we go to and all that, they're more relaxed. Somebody who is in university and all that, they probably want more parties, something more active and crazy. We're probably not like that, They're probably going to be very bored with us. So the people that tend to come to my events are over 30. So over 30, you speak English. They're probably the people that come. Yeah.
And do you think also people, because one thing is who has nobody to meet, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And wants to find other people, so that could be the first point. The second point is maybe Slovak, as you said, that were living foreign countries, so they want to speak English. What about those mixed experiences like yours, for example, with a foreigner as a husband or wife or partner and a Slovak from the other side? Do you think also in this case there is
absolutely
people are coming?
Yeah, like I said, but they come at the beginning. It's like if they're couples, like I say, in my case, who just moved into in Bratislava, who just started to live in Bratislava, they will come. They do. But like I said, then after a while they meet other couples. They have their own friends. So it's always like that. So sometimes that's one of the kind of things people tend to not complain but say all the time is, if you come to my events every month, you will make friends. You will see people, hey, I remember you, how you doing, and all that. If you skip like one or two of my events, you come back again, it'll be completely different people. And sometimes for you, it's like, imagine you have to do it over and over again, introduce to everybody, tell where you're from, blah, blah, blah. You get tired of it, It's like, oh, come on, why do I have to do it over? So,
what did you learn in these last years organizing events? What are from observing people and how they experience Slovakia when they come in?
And there's a type of person who really do good and those who will struggle. If you're the kind of person who is very social, I mean, if you're the kind of person who you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna come to Bratislava, I'm from X country, and people are gonna really like be very interested in me and all that. The personality here in Slovakia, in Bratislava, it's like people here leave you alone. Like you're not gonna be like, oh wow, you're from another country, tell me what it is and all that. That's the feeling. It's like Slovaks will leave you alone. Slovaks will kind of like welcome you in a way that they accept you as part of as you're living here in Bratislava. If you can understand that, you're not seeing as a tourist. You're not seeing completely go away from here and all like that. They'll just take you as you live here, blah blah blah. You should know Slovak, which is nice. A lot of people, from what I hear also in other countries, even when I was living in the States, I lived here for 10 years and I always felt like an outsider. It always felt like, I'm the foreigner. Hey, you're like this and like that. And here it's just like, I don't know, like compared to Ecuador and all that, people are not that gossipy. Maybe in Bratislava, no. Maybe in villages, yes, but people live their lives. Whatever you're doing. Nobody really gets involved into it. Nobody is really gossiping to it. So they leave you alone.
You feel at home as well, right?
Yeah, but if you're the kind of person who then, I moved in Bratislava, I'm new here, so everybody should come and welcome me and give me this big welcome because, I need help and all that. No, you have to. This is again coming down to the point. It's like if you have an issue or something, do something about it. People who are motivated or people who take the first step. Okay, I'm new in this country. I'm new in the city, and I'm gonna go to events. I'm gonna try to say hi to people. Hi, I'm from here. I'm from here. From that, you will do good. You will definitely do good. There will be Slovaks who are interested in what you do, where you're from, and they will invite you to do other things. Fine, yeah, that works. But if you're just waiting for a Slovak to come and say, hey, let's go out for a beer,
no, it's not going to happen.
Good luck with that. No,
okay.
it normally doesn't happen.
So do you feel that Slovaks are kind of closed in this or less open to socialize? What do you think?
Like that. I think they're just living their life. Just live their lives and, hey, if you approach me, I will be nice. But if you don't approach me, I let you live your life. I'm not going to bother you, That's kind of the feeling I get. So you have to bother them.
So it's different in Ecuador, for example, from a Latin country?
Yeah, they do. Oh, my God. My wife, when she arrived in Ecuador, the first year, it really annoyed me. For her, she didn't realize it. People stare. They would stare at her because she's so different, compared to, like, my color skin and all. They would stare at her. We would be, when you enter a restaurant, everybody will be looking at you and all that. And I'm like, dude, just eat, stop looking at us. It's just like people kind of like get into your business. That's kind of my feeling, It's not that they really want to, but they're interested in what you do. But to me, it's like, please just let me live my life and all that. So that was the difference. Here, they do. But
you should start the small talk,
exactly,
right? Instead of
they are not going to bother you. You should go bother them. Okay. You should go say hi to them, and they will definitely say hi. They will be nice, but you have to make the first step. So people who do that, I found out that they do really good here. They make good friendships and they have a good time. People who just spend time at home, or like, I have so much work to do. I just go to work and then I go home, and then they complain because they don't know anybody. They don't know what's going on in the city, and I had another girl, even from Ecuador, and this girl, every opportunity she had, every Saturday or every weekend, she would go to Vienna. And after a couple of months, she would complain about Bratislava. I'm like, well, what do you expect? You're never here. You're not making friends. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen? So that's what I've come to learn a lot about this in events and all that. And finally, also is I have this kind of rule to say, if you are new in Bratislava and you make it past 3 years, you're probably going to stay here long. Like, you're going to stay here for many, many years to come. But the 3 year, it's
Diego's law.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a 3 year mark.
Okay.
A lot of people, even if you think about it, at the 3 years, they're like, nope, I'm out. Goodbye, see you. They needed something else.
I actually know some folks that they didn't stay more than 2. And then left.
You see, exactly.
That proves
it's really
law.
make it past 3. Make it past 3, and then you're here. Yeah. So
in our case, we are done. We've been here for
it's only a matter of
time.
Funny thing is, my wife wants to go back to Ecuador. Any chance we have, if we can go back, she wants to go back. She loves it there. Mm-hmm. And we have the challenge. It's like, I love it here so much, I want to stay here always. So maybe, I don't know, maybe in so many years down the road, then we'll probably go back to Ecuador again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but so far, no, it's great here.
Did you have any trouble living here from time to time, due to, I don't know, color of your skin, or, from openness from people, you can feel that danger of unacceptance or anything like that?
None at all, and then that's, sometimes because my story doesn't fit every story. That's one thing I've come to learn a lot. I always, the first years that I was living here, I always wanted to say, no, it doesn't happen. No, there's nothing wrong. There's no problems. There's nothing happening. It's so safe and all. But it's my story. It's what has happened to me. It doesn't mean that it happens to everybody. That's kind of like at the end, the idea, Most of the people that I know, most of the foreigners that I know, they never had any problems. They've been fine, perfect. Nobody bothers them. But yet you also hear stories about, also on the news and all that, things have happened. So, but it also at the end, it happens everywhere. I mean, as I told you, when I was living in the States, that was a place where I felt the most like unwelcome. Mm-hmm. I wasn't living in New York City, obviously. I was living in Pittsburgh at that time, so very much American. But I was always the outsider. I was always the foreigner.
That's surprising because the U.S. is built of foreigners mostly, right?
Yeah, so. And maybe in Miami, maybe in the bigger cities, but I was living in a small city, and really they did not care. Mm-hmm. My God, you told them, I'm from Ecuador. Okay, good. And so what? What do you want me to do? Yeah, Or other guys would be like, I'm from Ecuador. Oh, so how far is from Mexico? Yeah. And I was like, forget it. Like they just don't care. Well, here in Bratislava, my experience was people cared. People were interested. They wanted to know more about this, and maybe you have seen it too, but was one thing that was very surprising is how much people are interested in the Latin culture. Mm-hmm. Music, language. It was with a couple of friends of mine, we learned the hard way not to be careful when you speak Spanish, because people will understand. Yeah. In the States and all that, in Pittsburgh, I would speak Spanish, and I know they don't know what I'm talking about, blah, blah, blah. One time we were on the bus, we were being loud with some friends, and then the one guy in the bus starts talking Spanish to us again, and we're like, crap, let's be careful. So, yeah, it's nice. It's nice, definitely, that people here like the culture, yeah. And, also at the end, I'm a very positive person from life, so if something bad happened, if I ever felt wronged here in Slovakia and all that, I don't remember it. it's gone by. You know, I only remember the good things, the good times. So, like I said, if maybe there was sometimes or something like that.
So you have basically also you heard more positive experiences
Absolutely.
than negative experiences overall.
Yeah. Like I say, it also depends who you compare to. What are you comparing to? You know, if again, compared to Slovakia to Germany again, you know, maybe it's different. Maybe it's better over there. But when you compare it to other countries.
So let me get to Slovakia. If you would have a magic wand, for example, what would you transform from one day to another?
You know what? Actually, what I would try, funny enough, I would try to somehow stop the influence from other countries, because what I tell you is this: when I go to as a tourist, when you were a tourist, you know, when I went to Paris, to Madrid, to Vienna and all that, it's like you find everything. I mean, you want a Starbucks, there's a Starbucks. You want a McDonald's, there's a McDonald's. So what comes down to is like when you travel to a country, you start seeing the same things everywhere. You know, yeah, sure, there are like the Statue of Liberty in the States, or in Paris, the Eiffel Tower and all that. But overall, people, I don't know, some tourists and all that, some people can get lazy, and there's an expectation, you know. They expect to what they have in their country to have it in this country, and that actually I don't like. You know, it's like you're here, you are in Bratislava. It's different. One thing I learned, I was also an exchange student when I was in university. And one one saying they always told us was, "It's not good, it's not bad, it's just different." You know, and I like the difference of Bratislava. I like the culture here. I like. You know, in Easter when they go and they throw water at the women and they do that. That's a funny. That's kind of like nice thing they do here. They don't do some other places. You know, so I like to keep the current traditions, the current the way people are here and all that. I don't know, when I go to even Vienna or other big cities, you see how much people are just on their phones all the time. They're just so much using this. Or when I was in the States, so many people are very much. It's all about buying. You know, buy. You have to buy. You have to buy. You have to have a credit card. You have to do this. It's always about this buying mentality. You know, it doesn't matter if you don't have money. Get a credit card. Oh, your neighbor has this car. You must have this other car. It's all very materialistic. And when I was here, you know, it was like the first 4 years that I was here, I didn't have a car. And I didn't need it. And it was fine. And the buses are fine. And it's just such a simpler life than in other countries. So if I had a magic wand, I would try to keep it away from all the other influences.
This kind of globalization.
Exactly. That's the main thing. I mean, I was so unhappy when I heard that Starbucks was coming in here. Why? You know, it's like, why? We don't need it. People are like so happy about it. Why are you so happy? It's just more sugar on it, you know. There's so many nice, good cafes here, and maybe you can help promote them, you know, help motivate the small businesses here to grow. Why do we need Starbucks? You know, it's like that's just
so perhaps what we need is more small businesses and little companies that grow, and more startups.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, motivate more locals. Yeah, there you go. That would be one of the things I would like to do, because there is still a lot of unhappiness with the local population, you know, with Slovaks, younger Slovaks, that they're always moving, they're always going to other countries, and maybe you lose those skills, you know.
But talking about foreigners, do you know foreigners that came and started a business here, or mostly are like us in big companies?
Thanks to Internations, actually, you get to do a lot of this. You get to meet a lot of people more who are middle management, upper management, and some people who run their own businesses. That's the kind of people that come to Internations. So yeah, I know a bunch of them. Like I said, people who have their restaurants. People who have their, like I was mentioning to you, kebab places own that. Also, you know, but it's a struggle. It's a challenge. It's not easy to start a business here.
Do you think that for a foreigner is harder, or it's the same as for Slovaks?
Well, because everything's in Slovak, so good luck with that kind of thing, you know. It's like, oh, I need this paperwork. Okay, well, good luck.
So you need to deal with the bureaucracy at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Then, depending on if you come from Germany or from Ecuador, maybe the bureaucracy might be simpler or harder. But in Slovakia, it's what it is.
Yeah, but it's also very impressive. I mean, you have to say it's impressive because of there's the language barrier. It's the way, the culture. This is a lot of times, as I tell you, people complain. Well, this is how it's done in Slovakia. You cannot change it. Like, why is this process this difficult? Why do I need this? I don't know if you know. There's another Italian, Saudo Leonardi. He started his small business also.
We invite him in the podcast, of course.
Yeah, yeah. There you go. He's been here for years too. He imports wine, Italian wine, and distributes it here to places. But wow, talk about a person who can hustle. My God, every time, every event you can imagine, everything. But yeah, like that, and he's doing fine. His wines now are located in some of the restaurants here, some of the bars. But yeah, he put a lot of effort into it. Yeah.
And so would you recommend a foreigner to start like you learning Slovak, having Slovak lessons? Because I know many that they just don't care. Say, why should I learn Slovak, right?
Yeah, it's a pity because it will be the same with our languages. In your case, Italian, or me, Spanish too. It's you just know more about the culture. You know more about people when you can speak their own language. Otherwise, you have a barrier. The English is this barrier, Yeah, I can speak, I can communicate, but I cannot really express my feelings. If I am really happy or if I'm really upset, I immediately switch to Spanish. Probably you do too. So that's where your emotions are. So if I'm able to speak Slovak even a little bit, but there's a better connection with the other person. So I always recommend to learn some Slovak. Always. It's nice too. I like it. For some reason, don't ask me why. I think it's a kind of like a romantic language and all that. I even like hearing it when people speak Slovak. I'm like, that's nice.
Any favorite word in Slovak?
Many. Hard to think about right now. One. Yeah. Prosím, because they sing it. Prosím.
Yes, yeah.
Prosím, yeah.
And how did you instead get accustomed with the Slovak cuisine and the food?
Oh man, I love it. It's one of my top favorites. I don't know why. I love every single, except when it comes to liver. Anything liver, I just don't like it. So pechenka and all that.
No
thank you.
pechenka.
But all other kind of foods, starting from brinzové halušky, klobasa, goulash. Palacinkis, yeah, and I really like it that a lot of foods are like seasonal, like summer will end and then it will be goose season, then it will be a kapusnica season during Christmas and all that. So I'm always looking forward to that. Now for me, this is the season for the chapovana kofola and some langos, But yeah, food I love. Slovak food is really one of my favorites.
So which one would be the first one you would recommend to try?
To try? When tourists come here and all that, the try could be kind of klobasa. Start with klobasa, start with like kurací perkelt, things like that. I never really recommend brinzové halušky to begin with because it's so heavy. It's just do it at your own risk. It's going to be very heavy. It's an acquired taste, if you wish. I mean, I love it so much, but the first time I tried it, I remember it was very heavy, And if you're a tourist, you're here for a couple of days, you don't want to be just like comatose and dying. So yeah.
And kofola. Is there similar to a kofola in Ecuador?
They call it kind of like in the States. There was a red Dr. Pepper.
Similar to kofola?
Yeah, that was something similar. That's what they say. It tastes like similar to that. But
okay.
Yeah. It also was an acquired taste. When I first tried it, I was like, come on, no, Coca-Cola is better and all that. But now, a good chapovana, especially when you draft kofola, yeah, I enjoy it.
And do you still have people that are coming from Ecuador to visit you from time to time?
Yeah, absolutely. Almost when I was first here, before we had children and all that, I was going to Ecuador once a year to visit my relatives. But now with my kids, the kids are still young, small. So it's my relatives who come visit. So every once a year, Like this year, my sister and my father came to visit. I also have a lot of friends from states or all that they come visit. So yeah.
And what is the tour you prepare for them?
Oh, you know what? Actually, that's an interesting one too, because it's one of my projects that I came to create since last year. It's called MySlovakExperience.
Okay.
Because of that, because I realized that, as I told you, just like, why do I create events? Why do I make events? It's just to show people, there are nice people. There are nice people who live here, foreigners and Slovaks, but you have to find them. So events are a way to find them. And also because, as I was saying, Bratislava is nice, but you need to know it. Many events are in Slovak, you don't know, or you don't know where to find the next event. Like this weekend, a lot of people don't know what's happening, and there may be a big event. So it's hard. It's hard to find information. And coming to that point, it came to me that I saw when I was walking in Old Town and all that, there's just this particular round that people do. Or I started looking on TripAdvisor, and people would say, yeah, Bratislava is okay for like an afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need it anymore, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why? Are you kidding me? Like, there's a lot of things you need to see, but you just don't know about it. So I created this kind of like tour agency. It's called MySlovakExperience. So this is why I do tours and for people and all that.
So it lasts more than an afternoon?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How long is it then?
And I came to actually, what you were saying was, I came to the perfect tour, let's say. It would be like, okay, you have to be smart how to do it because you were going to get tired. The way it would be, first of all, it's in the morning, take one of the free tours that they offer in the city. They will show you everything about Old Town and all that, 2 hours, done. After that, take a taxi and go to Koliva, to I forget now the name of the restaurant, Elevation Restaurant, I think it's called. You know, the one right here on top of the mountain, yeah?
So from where you can see as
exactly,
well.
altitude restaurant now. Yes, correct. So from there you can see the whole Bratislava, just beautiful view and all that. And then after that, come on down.
But not having a lushki, right? So trying to have
exactly.
something.
Avoid that one. After you have lunch, then come on down, have a nice snack for a little bit, or just relax by one of the cafes. And then there's another group called Authentic Slovakia. I don't know if you heard of them. They do what is called a communist tour. So sign up with them, and basically they take you in one of these old vans, Skoda vans, and they take you around Petržalka, and they take you about really very distinctive places of Bratislava, and they're really good. They're really good at explaining about the history of it.
Okay.
So now you'll also get to learn about the communist times and all that here. And then after that, come back, then go to like Flagship, one of the one well-known restaurants here in the city, have a nice dinner, and then after that go to like KC Dunai, because it's also it's one of the hidden places that nobody really knows. And there you have 1 day where you've seen a lot of Bratislava and stuff that probably a lot of tourists have never seen.
And still there is a kind of intensive
it's
program,
very intensive,
right?
yeah,
so you can even delay it in 2 days, or
you could
that's
do it
more
too,
relaxed. Yeah.
But yeah, that would be the perfect tour. I do it to a lot of my friends when they come visit. You really get to see everything. Yeah.
And do you also go outside Bratislava to just go in some particular location you like?
Well,
the
my wife's family, they're from Novi Samki, so we go every other week to visit them. Yeah, so that's usually what I do the most. Yeah, before kids again. Before kids, it was more traveling. Now it's just more relaxed. But before, we would go to Košice, we would go Poprad and all that.
So you traveled around Slovakia?
Yeah. So I've been to Slovakia a lot, to a lot of places. But that was a lot more before kids came. Now it's a lot of going to parks, to children's entertainment, yeah.
And if you because that's something as well I noticed, there is a different kind of life from a family perspective. If you have kids, right, there are some countries where there are more facilities for kids and things to do, and some countries where it's a bit less considered. I don't know if you have a similar comparison between your home country and this one.
Exactly. Here they have so many things. There are so many things for kids. So many things you can do, activities. What do I say? There are many malls here. There are many shopping malls. Each one of them has a children's area, детский кутик for them. You have the zoo. You have now you have the Magio Plage. You have the lakes. So here there's a lot of things you can do for children. But compared to my city, compared to Ecuador, wow, no. Even baby food, it was like just only one kind, chicken. That's all you could get. And for kids, for really small kids, probably even my country is not that good. You won't get to do a lot of things. As they grow older, then there's more things to do. But you have to be. It's not that safe. Cars will not stop. They will not respect just the pedestrians and all that. So, yeah. From my point of view, there's a lot of things you can do here with families.
So do you miss anything from Ecuador now?
No, I do not.
Nothing at all.
It's funny, no, I don't. But again, it's more like personal-wise. It's my personality. I try to feel good wherever I am. So when I was in the States, also I was fine living there. When I was in Ecuador, I was fine, and I'm here. I'm also fine. So it's never. Nothing that I miss something going there and all that. Not really. No.
Are you a Slovak citizen already?
I need to be. Not I need to be, but I could have done it. I just personally feel that my Slovak is not that great to pass the test. That's it.
That bloody test, right?
That is it. Yeah. Because it's some history and you have to read an article and explain what the article was, and it's just personally I don't think I am. But yeah, I want to do it. I feel also if I have the citizenship, then I am proving to myself that I can speak Slovak because I had to.
Yeah.
So hopefully someday I'll get to do that. Yeah.
Okay. And there are some successful stories, of foreigners that manage to pass it.
I know a lot. In I don't know, maybe also I don't know if you agree with this or not. I've noticed that women have a better time at learning languages than men. Mm-hmm. I know many more women who are really, really good at Slovak, learn Slovak pretty fast compared to us guys.
Okay.
Don't know. So I know even from girls from Ecuador who took the test and all that. Fine.
So it's one of your interests to be Slovak at some point, right? So at this point,
for sure.
Useful.
Yeah. I would like to.
Cool. So is there anything in particular you would like to share that we didn't talk about? Something that you think that would be important about you?
About me? Wow.
Your experience?
Yeah. I don't know. Like my experience here in Bratislava and all that, as I mentioned, it's been just great. I really like it. You get to meet so many interesting people. If you really think about it, if you analyze it, that you should consider that it's a small city that you get to meet. You have a chance to meet everybody. Even meeting you today, if we were in Berlin with so many people, what would be the chance?
Yeah.
It's so much difficult. People are just in their own communities and all that. And here, I've just met people from different parts of the world, different industries too. Like I said, small business owners to like people in different corporations and all that. IBM, HP, Dell, and all that. But also, I've got the chance. Because of internationals, all that last year, I got to attend to a couple of embassy events and all that. So I also got to meet many different diplomats, China, Russia, Malaysia. Mm-hmm. But again, it was like, if I was living in another city, there's no chance. Like, even Vienna, how could I meet them? So it's always I like this. It's a great experience. You can, if you give it a chance, if you put a little effort, the city would be very fun for you.
If somebody would like to get in touch with you, or they're interested in, more information or your activities, what is their website or anything?
Well, always we have the Facebook pages. One is called the Internations Bratislava, and also the other one I created. Well, I also manage is a Facebook group called Things to Do in Bratislava.
Okay.
So, yeah, through them, you can always reach out to me, and like I say, we organize international events every month. We do two, actually. I organize a quiz night So we do quizzes. That's one of the popular ones. That's actually even 65% are Slovaks. They come.
Quiz about Slovakia.
No. It's just quiz. We do movies, music, general questions, and all that. They're very, very popular. We get, on average, also about 100 people every month coming. I really think I'm one of the biggest quiz night events in the city. I think that, and that was pretty nice. It's a lot of fun, and so I do that, and then we also do international events. In quiz night, so what do I say? It's about teams of 4 people, and we go to, I don't know if you know of this place, Zeleni Strom, a restaurant by Obchodna.
Mm-hmm.
But so nice restaurant. It's not that expensive. It's got a huge screen, so then you just come with your friends, or we find you people to do teams, and then you just spend a night. It's like a dinner and a movie, dinner and a show. Yeah. So
and to meet other people at the same time.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And we make it a lot of fun.
So if you don't have a team, you can have a team formed in that place?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And for that, you can meet also, there's either in Internations Bratislava we posted, or I have also another page called expat.ska, expat.ska.com.
Mm-hmm.
And there you can also find out information about quiz night and all that. If I ever have some time in my life, I would like to see expat.ska as a website where I can post more articles of what to do. There's so many questions. People want to know where to find things. Where's a plumber in the city, or what stores are open during a holiday, things like that. I would like to have some kind of informative website, but it's just time. Right now, I have not enough time to do all the things I want to do.
Yeah, that's true. Particularly also the little services that you need in your home and so on. It's probably the hardest thing for a foreigner to find out.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Electrician,
anything that
plumber, and so on. Yeah.
There you go. Anything that is that deals with handwork and all that. Oh yeah, one funny anecdote was I was talking to a friend of mine with how difficult it is to find a plumber, electrician that speaks English, and a friend of mine, he's Slovak, he said, you know why? All the good ones left because they get more money somewhere else, which is true. So
or they just don't,
or the ones that speak English left.
Yeah,
there you go. The ones that speak English left because they can make more money somewhere else. So yeah, that's kind of one of the main reasons why it's so difficult to find. Yeah, cleaning services for that, or transportation a little bit, but anything related to construction or plumbing or that, good luck. Difficult. So I wanna try to improve. I wanna try to help out people with this. Find out what are the most common questions people have about what to do in Bratislava or what to find, and maybe have some articles there that helps people out. So that's my short-term goal.
So good luck with that. I will post all the links when I post the podcast, so people can click there and get it. So, and thank you so much for the conversation.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you everyone for listening to my Slovak experience. See you at the next interview. Till then, have fun, share, and enjoy.